everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to generate report cards using Google Sheets and Google Docs. So I am an owner of a school and my objective is that as soon as I'm going to enter the details of my students' result in my Google Sheets, automatically with the help of the details, a report card should be created of that same student with the help of Google Docs. And how it is going to be created? With the help of the template that we have already created with the help of Google Docs. And as soon as the report card is going to be created, I want to update my Google Sheets in which I want to enter the link of the document that is created. For that, what we are going to do is we're going to simply create an automation between Google Sheets and Google Docs with the help of Pabbly Connect. So if you want to learn how to do this amazing automation, then let me take you all to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to generate school report card using Google Sheets and Google Docs. So I'm an owner of a school and my objective is that as soon as I'm going to enter the details of my student's result in Google Sheets, automatically with the help of the details, I wanted to create a report card of my student using Google Docs with the help of the template that we have already created of the report card in our Google Docs. And after the report card is going to be created with the help of Google Docs, I wanted to update Google Sheets with the help of the link of our document that is created. For that, what we are going to do is we are going to simply create an automation between Google Sheets and Google Docs with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign in to our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. As I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign in to my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly Apps window in front of you, in which you can see the 5 applications of Pabbly, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on Access Now. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right over here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for a workflow name. So I'm going to give a name to my workflow as Generate Report Cards using Google Sheets and Google Docs. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow. Okay. Next over here, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this drop down arrow and these are the folders from which I'm going to select Google Docs Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving a name to our workflow and selecting the folder, let's click on Create in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Generate Report Cards using Google Sheets and Google Docs, and there are 2 windows in front of you. One over here says Trigger, other says Action. Trigger and Action are the 2 most important steps of our automation process because our process depends on these 2 concepts. Over here, Trigger says when this happens and Action says do this. That means our action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. Firstly, what we are going to do is we're going to set up our trigger step. For that, click on this arrow, and for the trigger application, we are going to select it as Google Sheets. So I'm going to select my trigger application as Google Sheets, and for the trigger event, we are going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row. As our objective is that as soon as I'm going to enter the details of my student's result in my spreadsheet in Google Sheets, automatically Pabbly Connect should capture the response, and for that we selected a trigger application as Google Sheets and a trigger event as new or updated spreadsheet row. Now, in order to connect Google Sheets to Pabbly Connect, Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. Okay, firstly I'm going to copy this unique webhook URL from here. After copying the unique webhook URL, you have to follow the steps over here given below in order to connect Google Sheets to Pabbly Connect. Firstly, you need to open the spreadsheet that you have created with the help of Google Sheets. As you can see that this is the spreadsheet that I've created with the help of Google Sheets. It has the details of my student's result, as you can see right over here. My objective is that as soon as I'm going to enter the details of my student's result in this spreadsheet right over here, automatically with the help of these details, the report card of my student should be created. So for that, we need to connect this spreadsheet first to Pabbly Connect. And how we're going to do that? In order to do that, we have to click on extensions right over here and then on add-ons. As soon as we're going to click on add-ons, we have to click on Get Add-ons. As we're going to click on Get Add-ons, on the search bar right over here, we have to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So we're going to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks. We're going to open this. As we have done that, over here it says Pabbly Connect Webhooks. We are going to open it. And as you can see that I've already installed Pabbly Connect Webhooks, so I'm going to move forward. But if you want to connect your Google Sheets to Pabbly Connect, in order to do that, you have to download this webhook. So I'm going to move forward as I've already installed it. I'm going to click on extensions, and Pabbly Connect Webhooks you can see is present right over here. And if you're going to click on Pabbly Connect Webhooks, these are the options from which we are going to select initial setup. As we are going to click on initial setup, you can see this window is going to appear, which is asking for a webhook URL in the trigger column. For the webhook URL, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. And then for the trigger column, it says the trigger column will be your file data column on which the data is added. So in this spreadsheet, my trigger column is going to be column N, as the data, the file data is going to be added in this column. And then I'm going to click on submit right over here. As I've done that, over it says setup configured successfully. That means we have successfully added the webhook. Now we're going to move forward. You have to click on extensions again in Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and over here you can see it says send on event. We're going to click on it as it is saying working. If I'm going to take you back to extensions and Pabbly Connect Webhooks, you can see a tick mark is in front of send on event. Why it is very important to click on send on event? So that whenever a new response is going to be entered in this spreadsheet right over here, automatically Google Sheets is going to send the data to Pabbly Connect. And in the spreadsheet you can see this is the final data column, the remark column in which the data is going to be added. That is why it is the trigger column. But as you can see next to it, it says the result link. This is the report card link that we are going to enter lately. Okay, so the trigger column is column N. So now as we have added the webhook in this spreadsheet right over here, I'm going to take you back to my workflow. I'm going to scroll down. It is saying waiting for webhook response. So now what we are going to do is we are going to enter the details of our student results in this spreadsheet right over here, and we're going to check whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of the details that we have entered in our Google Sheets or not. For that, we are going to enter the details of our student's result. For the roll number over here, I'm going to write it as roll number 1. For the student name over here, I'm going to write it as demo user. For the class over here, I'm going to write it as, let's suppose it's 11th class. That is why I've written it as 11th in Roman number. Next, it is asking for the term, the first term or the second term of the student. For the term over here, I'm going to write it as first term, okay? For the science marks over here out of 100, as the marks are out of 100, I'm going to write it as 90. For the mathematics marks over here, I'm going to write it as 96. For the social science marks over here, I'm going to write it as 89. For the English marks over here, I'm going to write it as 97. For the Hindi marks over here, I'm going to write it as 92. And for the Sanskrit marks over here, I'm going to write it as 98. Okay. So as I filled in the details, you can see over here it is the overall marks. This is out of 600, and as I've entered the formula in the spreadsheet right away, so the total of these marks is entered right over here. That is, out of 600, the student have scored 562. And over here for the percentage, you can see I've entered the formula of the percentage of this overall marks that student has received. So this is the percentage of the student right over here. Okay. Next over here, it is asking for the overall grade. For the overall grade over here, I'm going to write it as grade A, as the student have received grade A under the category of this percentage. For the remark over here, I'm going to write it as, so as you can see that this is the remark that I've written for the student, that is outstanding performance. Your hard work and dedication have truly paid off. Keep up the excellent work. So as column N was going to be the trigger column, that means as we have entered the details of our student in the spreadsheet, now what happens is we are going to open our workflow that we have created, and we're going to check whether Pabbly Connect has captured the response of the data that we have entered in our spreadsheet or not. So I'm going to scroll down to this workflow, and as you can see right over here, a response is captured in our Pabbly Connect account. If you're going to tally the response for the student name being demo user, for the term being the first term, for the social marks as 89, for the science marks as 90, Sanskrit marks as 98, for the roll number as 1, remark as the remark that we have entered in our spreadsheet, for the percentage, for overall marks as the overall marks out of 600, and all the other details. So this means that we successfully connected Google Sheets to Pabbly Connect and our trigger setup is done. So now whenever you're going to enter the data of your student in the spreadsheet right over here, automatically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of the data that you have entered in your Google Sheets of your student's result. Now, as with the help of this result, we want to create a report card of our student with the help of Google Docs template that we have created of our report card. So now what we are going to do is we're going to set up our action step, and for the action application, we are going to select it as Google Docs. So we're going to select our action application as Google Docs, and for the action event, we are going to select it as create document from template, as we want to create the document of our student's report card with the help of the template that we have already created in our Google Docs. So that is why for the action application, we have selected as create document from template, and then we are going to click on connect in order to connect Google Docs to Pabbly Connect. A new window is going to appear on which click on add new connection, but if you want, you can select the existing connection. After that, click on sign in with Google. As we have clicked on sign in with Google, a new window is going to appear which is asking for a permission. I'm going to click on allow, as this is a safe process and my data is perfectly saved with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on allow right over here. As you can see that we successfully authorized Google Docs to Pabbly Connect. After authorizing, over here it is asking for the template document. For the template document, I have created a template in the name of report card. So this is a template that I've created with the help of which I want to create report cards of my student, okay? And if we are going to look into this template carefully, you can see in front on at the end of some values, there are 2 curly brackets. So these are the variables that I've created in this template right over here. And I want that in place of these variables, I want to enter the data of my student details in place of these variables right over here, and that is why I've created these variables in this report card template, okay? So for the template over here, what we are going to do is we are going to select it as report card. After selecting the template, over here it is asking for the new document's name. New document name means with the help of this template that we have created, whenever a document is going to be created, we need to give the name to that document. So for the name of the document, I want that it should start with my student's name, okay? And if I'm going to manually enter the data right over here, whenever a new document is going to be created with the help of this template, it is always going to start with that specific student name. So what we are going to do is we are going to map the data for the name of our student. What is mapping? Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we are going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. And how we are going to do that? If you're going to click on this field, you can see it says Google Sheets new or updated spreadsheet row. This was the previous step of this workflow. And if I'm going to click on this arrow, this was the same response that was captured in our previous step. As I want that the new document's name should start with my student's name. So as you can see, this was the response from which this is the student's name from our previous step. So I'm going to select this student name right over here. As I've selected this data, what happens is the data is mapped. And as we have mapped the data has now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically in place of this mapped data, the new data is going to be updated. So as we have mapped the data of the name of our student, after that I want it as report card. So this is the name of the new document that is going to be created with the help of this template. It will always start with the student's name, report card. Next over here it is asking for the new document's location. Whenever a new document is going to be created with the help of this template, where is that document going to be saved? For that, what I've done is I've created a folder in my Google Drive with the name of student's result. I want that whenever any document is created, automatically all the documents should be saved in this folder right over here. So for the location over here, we're going to select it as student's result, as this is the folder that I've created. Next over here it is asking for the student name, class, term, roll number, science marks, mathematics marks, social science marks. So as I've already told you that in this template, I have created some variables, and you can see it says student name, class, term, roll number, science marks, mathematics marks. So these are the same variables that I've created in this template right over here, okay? And as we want to enter the values of these variables in place, what we are going to do is we're going to map the data of these details. For the student name, I'm going to map the data of the name of our student. For the class over here, I'm going to map the data of the class of our student. You can see this was the class. I'm going to map it. For the term over here, I'm going to map the data of the term of our student as it is right over here. For the roll number, we are going to map the data of the roll number of our student, which is right over here. For the science marks, we're going to map the data of the science mark response that we have received. For the mathematics marks, we're going to map the data of the mathematics marks right over here. For the social science mark, we are going to map the data of the social science mark right over here. For the English marks, we're going to map the data for the English marks. Hindi marks, we're going to do the same. We're going to map the data. For the Sanskrit marks, we're going to map the data for the Sanskrit marks. For the marks, this is the overall marks right over here. For the overall marks, I'm going to write it as this. This is the overall mark. For the percentage over here, I'm going to map the data of the percentage that we have received. For the grade over here, we're going to map the data of the grade of our student. So I'm going to map the data. And lastly, for the remark, I'm going to map the data of the remark that we have given to our student. As I mapped all the data right over here, I'm going to click on Save and Send Test Request. As we are going to do that, over here you can see we have received the response, and the response that we have received is a positive response, because over here in the response we have also received the document ID, as you can see right over here. So I'm going to open my Google Drive folder, and you can see over here a result is created, a report card is created. I'm going to open this report card. The name of the report card is Demo Users Report Card, and this is the report card for demo user. You can see right over here, class as 11th, term as first term, roll number as 1. You can see it has the details of the marks of our student that our student has achieved, the overall marks, the percentage, and the overall grade right over here with the remark. So this means that we successfully created a report card with the help of the template that we have created in our Google Docs for our student. So as we have done that, over here now in the top right corner, it says private to only me. That means this report card right over here is just accessible to only me. But as I want to enter this report card link in my Google Sheets and I want to update Google Sheets, so we need to first make this report card accessible to everyone. For that, what we are going to do is we're going to add another action step in this workflow by clicking on the plus button, and for the action application we are going to select it as Google Drive. So I'm going to select my action application as Google Drive. And for the action event, I'm going to select it as share a file with anyone, because we want to make this report card accessible to everyone. So that is why I've selected our action event as share a file with anyone, and then we are going to click on connect. A new window is going to appear, and I have the existing connection, so I'm going to select this option, but if you want you can add a new connection. After that, click on save. As you can see that Google Drive is now successfully connected to Pabbly Connect. After that, over here it is asking for the file ID, the file that we want to make accessible to everyone. As I have already told you in the previous response, we have received the document ID, and that document ID is the ID of this document that is created. So what we are going to do is, for the file ID, we're going to map the data. For that, open this map bracket right over here. We're going to erase this existing response, and we're going to map the data of the document ID that we have received in our previous step. After that, we're going to click on Save and Send Test Request. As we have clicked on Save and Send Test Request, over here response received. In the response, it says anyone with the link. If I'm going to open the report card, now this report card on the top right corner, it says anyone with the link. That means this report card is now accessible to everyone with the help of a link. So now what we are going to do is, as we have received a response, and in this response we have received multiple links of the document that is created. With the help of these links, we are going to update our spreadsheet that we have created. Okay, so what we want is, we want to now update the spreadsheet. So now we're going to add another action step in this workflow, and for the action application we are going to select it as Google Sheets. So I'm going to select my action application as Google Sheets, and for the action event I'm going to select it as update row right over here. Now as we are going to update the row with the help of the link, I'm going to click on connect next. A new window is going to appear in which I'm going to select the existing connection, but if you want you can add a new connection. Then I'm going to click on save. As you can see that Google Sheets is now successfully connected to Pabbly Connect. Over here it is asking for us to select a spreadsheet, as we want to update the spreadsheet students result. So for the spreadsheet over here I'm going to select it as students result. Okay, next over here it is asking for us to select a sheet. So I've created a single sheet in the name of sheet 1 right over here. So for the sheet I'm going to select it as sheet 1. Over here it is asking for the row index. So we are going to map the data of the row index that we have received in our previous step. This is the row index. I'm going to map the data. Next over here it is asking for the roll number, student name, and as I don't want to update these fields, so I'm going to skip the part. But over here lastly you can see it says the result link. This is the report card link and I want to enter the link of the report card. So we're going to map the data of the link that we have received of our report card, and I'm going to map the data in a PDF format of the link. So I'm going to select this link right over here, that is in a PDF format, you can see. Okay, so I've mapped this data. After filling all the details, I'm going to click on save and send test request. And as we have done that, over here you can see a response is received. If I'm going to open my spreadsheet, I'm going to scroll to the end of this data. You can see over here a link is now, the report card link is now attached in this spreadsheet right over. If I'm going to open this report card link right over here, you can see a file is downloaded. I'm going to open this file, and as you can see this was the same report card of demo user right over here in a PDF format. So this means that we successfully created an automation between Google Sheets and Google Docs with the help of Pabbly Connect. But now for all of you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the data of another student in the spreadsheet, and I'm going to check whether a report card of that student is created or not. For that I'm going to enter the details. As you can see that I've entered the student's details for the roll number as 2, name as test account, class as 11th, term as first term, marks for the science as 89, mathematics as 94, social science as 98, English marks as 97, Hindi marks as 99, Sanskrit as 98, the overall marks, the percentage and the grade of the student. For the remark, a remark. And as you can see right away, the document of the report card is now linked over here in the spreadsheet. If I'm going to open this document from here, as you can see that over here file is downloaded. I'm going to open this report card. The report card is in the name of test account right over here, and this is the details of the report card of my student test account with the marks right over here. So this means that we successfully created an automation between Google Sheets and Google Docs with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done, I am an owner of a school and my objective was that as soon as I was going to enter the details of my student's result in my Google Sheets, automatically with the help of the details I wanted to create the report card of my student with the help of Google Docs. And how the report card was created with the help of the template that we have already created of the report card in our Google Docs. And as the report card of the student was going to be created with the help of Google Docs, I wanted to update my Google Sheets with the link of that document. For that what we have done is just simply created an automation between Google Sheets and Google Docs with the help of Pabbly Connect, and this is how we create this amazing automation. So if you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video. Not just with these applications, you can create automation with the help of Pabbly Connect between multiple applications. If you have any doubts, you can send us email on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can ask your queries on forum.pabbly.com. If you have any queries regarding the pricing of Pabbly Connect, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions and doubts, and please share this video, and thank you for watching.